Hi there. Here I am back again in episode 9 of the larger 18 episode entitled Is the Human Race About to Mature? I think I've forgotten to say it a few times. Please check out my website here too. Because you can see a lot more information, and there's quite a bit on my website, so please don't hesitate to go into my website. Now, this episode 9, is about attachments versus deep connection. Now, many people tend to think that attachment is a good thing. Their argument is usually if we're attached to someone else, then that attachment brings the relationship much closer, and it can add to the experience of life, or the experience or the enrichment of the relationship by being attached someone. We even call that, don't we, sometimes attachment. That's sometimes how we refer to a relationship. But now let's analyze this. So what is an attachment as opposed to being connected to something or someone? Attachment is kind of like, all right, you can see my body standing here. I'm one body, and I've got an arm here. And yes, I am definitely attached to my arm. All right? So that's an attachment. And I'm not just connected to it. It's not on the table over there that I can go and pick it up and take it off somewhere. It's a part of my body that I'm attached to. Now, what would happen if that arm got in an accident somewhere and got ripped off? That would hurt, wouldn't it? And that's the danger of attachments, especially if you're attached to anything that is finite. My belief is, by all means, attach yourself to something that is infinite, like the infinity of nature or the infinity of the universe. In fact, our spirit is a part of the whole universe, and it's connected. But attachment can really be an extreme version of connection that can actually do a lot of harm if we're not careful. Now, of course, there are many forms of relationships and attachments. Taking into consideration probably the number one attachment that we make, and that's to a very close family or intimate partner. But what happens if that relationship falls apart? Even if it's a beautiful relationship, but something happens to them, they pass away. Then if we are attached to them, then we can't bear to live without them anymore. But I'm sure that person would want you to go on. It's the same with if you some people attach themselves to a house, a home, or they attach to possessions. They can't imagine life without those possessions. But what happens if that house burns down or gets destroyed by flood or hurricane or cyclone, whatever? And these things deteriorate in time anyway. So is it wise to attach yourself, or just use it and connect yourself, but use it or be with it for a time, but train yourself to be able to put it down. Another type of attachment is being attached to ideas. You can think, all right, yeah, I've got this great idea and it's gonna work and I'm gonna make a go of it, maybe make a fortune out of it. But if it flops and you're attached to that idea, then the idea doesn't just flop. You can also feel like you're a failure yourself because you're attached to it. People also attach themselves to values. Now, as I said, values are a very, very important thing to have. They are part of your power and part of who you are. But as you go through life, sometimes you can find the values that you've been brought up with, that you've always held for a long time. It's been instilled in you, whether it's been instilled into you by society's norms or by religion. You've never really thought about it, and suddenly something happens in your life and you realize, hang on, those values really need to be looked at. They need to be reassessed because of circumstances in your life. Something's changed. Now, if you're attached to those values, then you'll find it very, very, very hard to be able to change them. And if you can't change, guess what happens to maturity? Guess what happens to spiritual evolution? If you find that you can't move on, even though you've now realized that what you are hanging on to, what you are attached to, is no longer serving you, and there's something better that you need to move on to. If you're attached to it, in other words, it's become a part of you that you can't let go of, then that will hold you back. It will hold you back from development. So, never ever attach yourself to something that can rust, that can leave you, even in death. Death sometimes separates us. So never attach yourself to something that is temporary, that is maybe here one day, gone the next. In Buddhism, I've got a friend here in where I'm living at the moment. It's a Buddhist monk. And in Buddhism, attachment is spoken of as one of the 3 poisons in Buddhism. That's because we need to develop in life the ability to let go. This is also in Native American spirituality. It's called the giveaway ceremony. Every now and then, usually about once a year, people will give away all the stuff that they don't need, they don't want anymore, or that doesn't serve them anymore. In paganism and Druid times, when someone has passed away, they had a ritual where you could take the ashes to the River Avon and then go to Stonehenge at the winter solstice, and that was a time of letting go of mourning. Again, letting go of the attachment to that person, so in a ritual, and then moving on, because life has to go on. So attachment, yeah, I would agree with the Buddhist idea, and also the Native American, and they call it the giveaway ceremony, and they also refer to the great giveaway, where pardon me, the great giveaway where you actually give away your body when you pass away. So not even being attached to your body. And I've spoken quite a bit about this, because you are your spirit, you're not your body. So you're not even attached to your body. You are your spirit, and your spirit is eternal. And it will go on forever. But your body won't, and you'll just get another one until you reach maturity, of course. So why do we attach ourselves to people, to things, to possessions, to ideas, to values? Why do we attach ourselves? Now, it can be put in a very, very simple sentence. We attach ourselves because of an inner lacking. We lack something that's within ourselves. One of the qualities that we need to have within ourselves, and maybe we're lacking in self-confidence, and so we'll seek a partner who will be a person who's got a lot of self-confidence. We'll seek, it could be anything, but that's why we often say in relationships, opposites attract each other. It's not the fact that they're opposites, it's the fact that the other person has qualities within them that we ourselves are lacking. And so coming together, we can find a completeness in the relationship. But it's based on lack, not on sharing. It's based on, I need this from the other person, rather than I've got this to give. So it's based on the wrong reason. If it's an attachment to add something to yourself that you are actually lacking. And that is the main cause that we attach ourselves. The solution to it is complete yourself. So if you're attracted to another person for a particular reason, look at that other person and ask yourself, what is that other person mirroring back to me that I need to find within myself? Or I'm attached to this house because it's my security, so I can't let it go. But you need to find security within yourself. That way, if something tragically happens, a storm, a fire, whatever happens, and the house is suddenly gone, you've got the security within yourself, and you don't need to attach to it. You can also move around a lot easier too. It's very hard if you're attached to something or someone, possessions, particularly a house, very, very hard to leave it. It's very hard to move on in your life, even though moving on means that you'll be going to a much better place. You're attached to the old, and you can't move on. So that is why I certainly agree with the Buddhist idea that attachment is actually a poison. Now, this of course is something that takes a lot of training, takes a lot of practice. But if you get to the point where you don't need anything, if you don't need someone to complete you, you've got everything within yourself. That sounds like a bit selfish, doesn't it, at first? But actually it's not. Because guess what? People who have found everything within themselves, and I mentioned this in the previous previous episode, they've got self-respect, they have self-trust, they have self-love, they have self-control, they have the awareness of being infinite, not finite. When you have all these qualities within you, then the need to attach is no longer there. Now, that, as I said, sounds a bit selfish, but actually it's not. Because, put it this way, two people who come together who actually don't really need anything from each other because they are complete within themselves. Those people have everything to give. They give and just want to give and want to share because they have a wealth within themselves. And if you want a good relationship, that's it. That's as good as it gets, believe me. If you can have a relationship where both parties have found that spiritual maturity and physical maturity in every way, in fact. Not needing a relationship that is based on, I'll do this for you if you do this for me. It's not based on compromises. It's based on giving to each other, not taking. And that is the key to why I'm saying make deep, meaningful connection by all means, but not attachment. Attachment is definitely one of the, well, as Buddhists say, it's a poison that it literally poisons your spirit. So by all means, make deep, meaningful connection. And if you find someone that you can connect with, that is complete within themselves, then the relationship that will assume is a very, very spiritual connection. And sometimes you call those soulmates, I guess. But the relationship is very close, very deep. But if it's based on giving, but if it's based on needing and taking, then there's only so much that you can take from another person. But if you've got so much to give to each other, there's kind of no limit to how much you can give. And that extends out not just for the personal relationship, the intimate relationship, or the family relationship. It means if you're complete within yourself, not needing to attach to anything, it means you're truly free. That's the meaning of freedom. To be fully within yourself, having everything that you need within yourself. Now, I'm not talking about money, of course, that's another issue. But as far as all your qualities, your spiritual development, if you're complete in that, then you will be a solid, strong person. And when you see others that are lacking in this, doesn't mean that you're, oh, look at me, yeah, aren't I good? No, forget that. But it means if you've got everything in you to give and you see someone in need, and if it's within your power, you'll lift them up. And that is the best connection you can make. You can't do that if you're needing all the time. But you have to have so much to give. When you've got so much to give, then you can actually help other people up, lift them up. And that is your role as a member of the human race to get yourself to that point where you are spiritually mature, and then you add that to our race, lifting each other up, helping each other, giving to each other, but not taking. Of course, there's nothing wrong if someone offers you something, offers you help to accept, but that's, I would say that's not taking, that's appreciatively accepting, which is very different again. Yeah, and in fact, that's something that you've got to also accomplish too. Some people can't accept because that's a symptom of not feeling worthy to receive. But if you raise yourself up to this level, then you are willing to receive, but you've also got so much to give. So that's attachment. And I can hear you saying, oh yeah, that's certainly a higher level of being. I'm nowhere near that yet. But now you know why we need many lives. I've got a bee flying around me here. No, we know why you've got so many lives, because you can't do this all in one life. It's impossible to do it all in one life. And it's why we die and then we are reincarnated and come back over many times, many lifetimes, to learn all these things. And eventually we get to a point where we've learned them all. We've raised, I haven't spoken about this for a while, but we've got our karmic, which karma is the vibrational engine of our spirit, that we've had so many experiences. We've developed ourselves to such a point where we've basically, I won't say we've learned it all, because we will never learn it all. You can be 100,000 million years old. You'll probably say, oh, I'm just starting. But at least we will get ourselves to the level where we become mature. And of course, maturity is just the beginning. Kind of like you go to school, you go to primary school, you go to high school, you go to college or university for all those years. But that's not the end of it, is it? You get that piece of paper that sits up on the wall. That's not the end of it. That's just the beginning. And from the next 3 episodes are now going to be my if all these 18 episodes were a conference, the next 3 episodes would be the keynote. So please, I'm taking us now into the next level, and I'm going to start talking about our future and the purpose of the human race. So we're maturing for what? For what? We're maturing for a very good purpose. We are needed as a race. And we do have a race, and you, individually, and me, and my cameraman back there, we all have, as individuals, our role to play in being a part of the race that we are, the human race that belongs to the Earth Mother, and we're the fruit of the earth. And the next 3 episodes are going to be about the future. So these last 9 episodes that I've done have been leading up to that. So the next 3 are going to be my keynote. And then the last few will be going right back to the right back to the dawn of the universe and backing everything that I've set up. So please, if you like what I'm saying, you like what I've said about attachments and all the other 8 episodes before it, please press that like button, that subscribe button. Please help me to get this information out. What I'm saying isn't really liked much by the algorithms of YouTube, simply because I'm putting out there something that's not the norm. It doesn't fit in. Can't really be monetized. But I'm not worried about that. I don't care about that. I'm just wanting to help. I'm wanting to help the human race mature, because believe me, we've got a lot of, as a race, we've got a lot of work to do. We've got a huge, big purpose, and I'm going to talk about that in the next 3 episodes. So please, if you want to go into my website, www.isthehumanraceabouttomature, there's my mission statement out there and a few other things. Thank you very much, and I'll see you at when I'm at 9. I'll see you in episode 10 of my next series of episodes. Thank you, and bye for now.